Mark, hot work, but what are your thoughts on that?
Listen, it's pre-season. I mean, you can see me, I'm sweating my taters off here on that sideline. I felt for the players, but that said, first half we weren't at it. Matty come in and we threw him in, and probably just a little bit disorganised, not on Matty's part, but just as a team, and we didn't keep the ball well enough. And then this is going to be a bit of an echo in here. And we gave the ball away sloppily, and it's so hot today. But that said, they had the energy in the first half to do it, and I said at half time, we needed to improve. We want to win every game. We want to do as well as we can in every game that we play. I needed to see an improvement of, not desire, because they've worked really hard this week. We've been down at Woodbury Park. We've worked the socks off them. They were probably always going to be a little bit fatigued, but we need to see them when it's like that. It's not about beating Bath 2-0 or whatever. It's about game time, and so we've got through that. There was an improvement second half. I think once Stevie come on and just sort of won some headers, I think, and then we changed the system a little bit. I played almost like a 4-4-2 first half, and I don't know what it is. Players don't seem to play it too often. We need that extra pass in the middle of the park, and I thought once we had that, and once we got on the front foot with winning headers at the back, then I felt we were a lot better. Loads to do still, loads to do. I didn't think Byron was going to get anything out of the game. I didn't think, Andy was producing enough, and he was a little bit, his toe was sore. So, and Troy, I wanted to give him and Stevie 45, and then we'll just see where we go Tuesday. Everyone's got some time on the pitch. We've created a few things, but also, they created a few things in the first half. So, plenty to work on. Really good workout in unbelievable conditions.
I mean, you had a lot of possession first half.
Yeah.
But not a lot in the final third, because you had the possession and then didn't really make the most of it.
Yeah, we got into some good areas, and then our quality or our timing of our runs wasn't right, and it just wasn't happening. And you've got to let them, we've got to let them work it out for themselves sometimes. But we just, like I said, we changed one or two things at half time, and I thought we were better second half. Like I say, it was a tough test for us. They got the big lad up front first half was winning headers and making them getting behind. They got a bit of energy and a bit about them, and then we slowly got to groups with it, but we slowly got a bit better and started keeping the ball. And that's what we want to do. And positives out of the game. Game time. Matt's moved on from 45. Matt Taylor's moved on from 45 to a 60. And he's only going to improve for that. Amari, when he came on, was outstanding, and showed glimpses that what he can do. And he's got to be, at the moment, he's got to be right in my thinking. That's what I want him to do. I want him to, we've said to him, just because we brought Kobe in, it doesn't mean that you're not going to feature. It doesn't mean you need to sulk or anything like that. I want competition, and I thought he came on and he was the one who looked like he was going to do something every time he picked the ball.
I mean, is he really throwing himself into your thoughts? I mean, looking ahead to Bury, is he really?
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah. I think we've all watched that today, and you asked me who our best player was, and Stevie for what he did in sort of changing the game. But our bright spot was Amari, and I thought he looked really lively, and there'll be a time and a place for him, I'm sure. If that's against Bury, then I have no worries about that whatsoever.
Now, you gave another chance to Rakesh and Joe Curtis. Yeah. Do you know where you're going to go with that?
No, we'll get him in Monday, and we'll talk to him properly and get him in and see where we're going from there. I'm still after another couple of players, so whether they're the two, it remains to be seen. But I'll sort of have a good chat with them Monday and Tuesday and go from there. And
on those 2 or 3 players, we know one's a goalkeeper, so where are you looking for the others?
Well, I just said a centre mid and a centre forward, probably, didn't I? With Joe, and it's just the types what we're after now. Just got to be trying to get the ones we want, or see what's out there. We've got 2 decent ones here. We just got to see if they fit into the grand scheme of things.
I mean, if it isn't to be Rakesh and Joe, have you got people in mind? Have you got your targets?
I've got a couple, but these two are also have been with us for over a week now, and they've impressed enough. I just want to see more of them, or I'll know where I'm going with a couple more.
I'm thinking regarding Joe Curtis. I mean, you've got Joe Hanks here. Yeah. I mean, would you? I think
it's slightly different. I think you can play him in a couple of different positions. But listen, it's not fair to talk about the boys. They'll find out what we're going to do with them in due course. They're on trial, and right this minute in time they're trying to impress and get in our squad, and that until them or we say different, then that's the case.
I mean, with the size of the squad that you've got now, you're coming up to 22, 23, 24 players. What about reserve team football, under 21 football? Yeah. Is it where are we going with that?
Well, as a staff, we've taken the boys, the young boys, the first year pros in particular aside, and sort of said to them, listen, we need to concentrate on the ones who are going to more than likely start. Sean's worked with an under-21 squad at Wimbledon last year, and he's right. It's about progress. It's about them improving this year. Be that, and to progress and improve doesn't mean they have to play first-team football. As long as we see improvement and we see the value in them being here. And at the moment, they're probably four of them are probably a little bit behind where we are, but they've literally just stepped out of 18s football. And if we think, or if anybody thinks that they're ready to go in and play 30 games this season, they're miles away. So we've sat down with them, we've told them our thinking. We're in the middle of putting together a training plan for them that gets some time with Ian in the gym. So they're bulking up, so they're getting bigger and stronger. They're getting fitter, but they're also learning about the game and working hard towards becoming a squad player. I think we have got like 22, but the 4 at the moment are probably not in that.
So are we talking Adam, James Bowen,
Bobby
and
Harry? Yeah, they're not. We feel they're not quite where we want them to be, and that's no fault of theirs. They've literally just stepped out of youth football, like I said. And don't get me wrong, one, two, at any one time might get a chance, but we're not dismissing them. But I just think we've got to be fair to them and not disappoint them every Tuesday, every Saturday, by giving them a goal, by giving them a plan that they get themselves ready for it.
Would that involve loaning them out, Conference North, Conference South, somewhere
we'll talk about it. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. We're going to organise games. We haven't joined the league because we put our names down to join a league, but the travelling was just ridiculous. It was something like Orient, Gillingham, Crawley, Brighton, Bournemouth. Everything was the nearest was 2 hours, so we just took stock of it, and we can get loads of games, and we're going to get loads of games, and we're going to get at least 2 or 3, at least 2, possibly 3, sometimes as 1 or even 4 games, under 21 games if you like, but games for those who aren't playing, because we want everybody playing week in, week out, and if needed, they're ready to step in. That also might mean 1 or 2, if we can get the right clubs to go and get them game time out on loan, but also with having a programme for them with Ian and with Sean and myself on the training ground, we want them around the place. It's not just a case of dismissing them. We want them to improve. We want them to get in the first team. But right at this moment in time, if you're asking me are they ready, then I don't think they are.
And there's no point in loaning them out to a.
No.
Are you loan them out at a decent level?
And there's also no point loaning 4 or 5 of them out and then not having enough players to play a reserve team game. And we've moaned about that in the past. We've got, we'll have more than enough. Hopefully, we don't pick up too many knocks. Hopefully, and we can get regular games into the whole squad, and that's the plan. And hopefully that'll see what we're after, which is ultimately to get players through the youth system into the first team. But just because we think we've got a decent crop doesn't mean that they have an automatic right to think they're first team players. They don't. But Russ, rather than disappointing them every week, we've spoke to them all as a group and just said, this is the plan, this is what we expect, this is what we want you to do, and that'll become apparent.